Right. And let's get the Twitch stream going. And there we go. I think we should be good. All right. I see Mini Shinny is here. Good, good. Just making sure I've got everything set up here real quick. Okay. So your Pokemon are watching me. Okay, good. Good, good. Okay. I don't know if I like the sound on that transition. All right, so first things first, I gotta go ahead and I cleaned up my wet palette earlier. And I gotta get a new transfer sheet. I don't know what these are called, but I gotta get a new one of these in there. Oh, also, I saw a message on my YouTube dashboard saying that YouTube fixed the glitching on TVs and on computer on the web version. So hopefully you won't have as much issues. I mean, for your beards and your women, maybe even your bearded woman. This could be a bearded woman, Taltos. This could be a lady dwarf. We don't know. We may never know. It's possible. I recall that Gimli said they're kind of hard to tell apart. Remember what? And he has Shinny yelled, "Daddy!" Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I just snuggled him for a little bit before I came down here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to grab before I do much. I don't think so. I think I'm ready. All right, so Hi Mini ShiniWifey is the Twitch one. Yes, that is correct. The YouTube account is Mini Shinny, and this guy's been sitting on my shelf for a little bit. He actually has a little bit of cobwebs, so I'm getting some of those off of here real quick. Well, I'm glad he's watching. So yeah, this is who we're going to be painting tonight. And Artisan Guild is the creator of this miniature. I have followed Artisan Guild off and on for a couple of years now. They make some really good, really stylized, like this like, I don't know, very exaggerated, like his face is so detailed. I love this guy. But they make a lot of great stuff. They've got all sorts of minis. I've got some orcs of theirs. I've got dwarves. I've got some undead, like some skeletons and zombies and stuff of theirs. I've got some elves. I've got some bird people that I'm hoping to paint up at some point. Like they've got some really cool stuff, and they're all these, like, I don't know, very stylized, very exaggerated poses and stuff. This guy's kind of like running forward. Maybe he's swinging the axe as he's running forward. I can't tell. But he's cool. I like him. So he's got some really cool armor with some neat details and stuff on it. Side note, I am audiobooking Project Hail Mary, Def worth a listen / read. Nice. It's one that I want to read. I also really need to go back and read The Martian, because I loved that movie. And as soon as I heard that Project Hail Mary was written by the same author and that the movie was coming out, I was really excited for that. I have not had a chance to see it yet. But it's like at the top of my list of what I want to go see. But yeah, so he's got a ton of great detail. Do a birdie person soon. Actually, hold on. I have a couple of them over here that I've printed already. Let me grab them out of my case so I can show you. So for example, this guy, I went ahead and primed him in brown, so he's got a little something on like the tip of his beak there. That's weird. But he's really cool. He's like it's like he jumped forward, and so he's kind of like landing. He's got a cool spear. He's got a shield in one arm here. He's really neat. I want to point out Undywear's first book was The Martian. He released it for free on his blog, chapter by chapter. Oh man, that's pretty cool. That kind of sort of reminds me, I used to read John Dies at the End, which is not even close to the same kind of book. But when I cannot think of the author's name, it's like Joseph P something, I think. I think he used to use like what's a ghostwriter? Not a ghostwriter. What's the like a pen name? But he called himself David Wong when the book first came out. But he used to release it chapter by chapter on his website, and that was really cool too. And so here's another bird person I've got. This one, he's got like some magic going on with that hand, and then he's got a cool curved dagger here and a really neat cloak. This one, it actually printed weird, so there's this kind of layer shift on the cloak here that only affected the cloak. Like there's no other lines on the mini, so I guess I'm happy with that. But it doesn't look too bad, so I think I'll be okay with it. But yeah, this would be another fun bird person to do. And these two bird guys look very different. So these could be stuff that could be, you know, future painting streams. Amy, welcome, Amy. It's been a while. I'm so glad to see you. Andy Weir's written 2 books. Project Hail Mary got optioned by MGM before he even finished it, and Ryan Gosling basically demanded to star and produce it. That's amazing. I love that. Do I have a kitty person? I don't believe I do. I've got a Minotaur person. who's very definitely not a kitty. But this is a Games Workshop. This was one of their free Warhammer minis of the month that we got at our local shop a while back. This would have been like last summer or something like that. Actually got a bunch of the Warhammer free minis that I haven't painted yet because I've also got this this lizard man guy. Do I have a doggy person? I don't have a doggy. Well, hold on, actually. Now that you say that, I do have some gnolls who are like hyena people. Are hyenas more cats or dogs? I don't actually know. Like, I feel dumb that I don't know this, but I feel like they're more cat-like, maybe? I'm still mad at the mess they made of The Martian with that damn movie. Oh, no. So, okay, I haven't read Dogs for Sure. Okay, well, then I'm definitely incorrect, Amy. Tabaxi exclusionary. I may have a model for a Tabaxi that I haven't printed yet. But I'm sorry, Fergru, I have not read the book for The Martian. I've only seen... They have more cat DNA than dog DNA? Okay, I feel a little bit vindicated then. I was thinking they look very dog-like. Like, they don't really look like a cat, necessarily. Like, they don't look... like, you know, a lion or bobcat or anything like that. Like, that's... But for some reason in my head, I was thinking they are cat-like. But yeah, Ferger, I apologize. I have not read The Martian. It's on my list. But I watched the movie first, and I enjoyed it. But I can imagine that there's probably things that happen differently and probably better in the book. That happens a lot with adaptations. A lot of times, you know, because the book pretty much always comes out first, right? And I don't know what did change necessarily. Yeah, and that's kind of, I guess I'm explaining it slightly nicer than what Taltos is saying. I mean, not that he's saying it in a mean way, but there's a lot of stuff that, you know, can't be covered in a movie that, you know, a book is really long. And again, I haven't read it, so I don't know what differences there were or what things they had to cut out or anything like that. I'm sure they did have to cut stuff out. But I feel like we can all agree that it's not as bad as the Aragon movie adaptation. I'm just saying. I actually saw recently Christopher Paolini. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name too badly. He announced on his YouTube channel that they are officially making an Aragon series. Yes, Amy, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. They were picked up and they're working on the script. He's heavily involved with it. And he even mentioned in his little announcement that he did, you know, there's certain things that have to be changed from, you know, going from a book to a TV show or to, you know, a movie or anything. I don't know what that movie is. That's fair. ShiniWifey, I'm sorry, I should probably explain this to some of the others that are here. The ShiniWifey account on YouTube is my daughter using my wife's account. And the ShiniWifey on Twitch is actually my wife. So yeah, Mini Shinny doesn't know what the Aragon movie is, and I hope she will never have to know what it is because it was pretty bad. Oh, he has a TikTok he updates on? Nice. I as soon as I saw his YouTube video he posted, I subscribed there, but I did not realize he had a TikTok as well. That's cool. He seems like a genuinely nice dude from what I've seen of him. So anyways, I should probably work on getting started. I'm definitely welcome to I'm happy everyone's here. So welcome to everyone who is here. I'm excited to have everyone here. So let's look at this guy real quick. So he's got some fur down here on like a loincloth area. So we're gonna have to paint some fur. He's got pretty heavy armor like all over his body. Oh, he's got some fur back here too. Okay. He's got some visible skin. It looks like he doesn't have anything covering his upper arms. So there's some visible skin there. He's got a leather pouch. I think his boots looks like they are probably leather underneath the like armor plating on his like greaves or whatever. So we can probably paint that in a leather look. What color should we do his armor though? He's got a lot of armor. He's got some really ornate stuff on it. There's some really nice trim on the armor, like all this banding around the outside edge of like the shoulder pieces and stuff. I choose to believe that movie doesn't exist. Good choice, Corthane. TikTok is at Christopher Paolini. I had to look it up. Oh, nice. Thank you for sharing that, Amy. Appreciate it. Corthane, how you doing tonight? You know what? Let's take a vote. What do you guys think his armor color should be? I was almost leaning towards, I think I was kind of like subconsciously thinking like World of Warcraft Alliance colors, and I was thinking like blue with like gold trim or something. Copper. Ooh. That's an interesting choice. I think copper would... Ooh. Could I... Let's see. Maybe... What if the trim... Bronze and iron. Okay. I bet if the armor was kind of an iron color, and then the trim was kind of a copper bronze, I think that would look pretty good. And I have, let's see. So I have some kind of generic, like this is just metallic. It's so shiny. So this one says it's a weapon, bronze. Ruby would be very difficult. Let's see, but I also have, where is it? I have a couple of these speed paint bronze or coppers. Like I have this one. I have, is it brazen copper? Yeah, Talos bronze, brazen copper. So I've got both of these. Whoop. Wait, think about ruby. I like the idea of ruby, but I don't know how I would accomplish ruby on the armor. And then I have another one here that says Horde bronze, that looks much more gold. This Talos bronze has a cool like red tint to it. How is ruby difficult? I don't know how I would make it shiny like a gem. I don't have a paint that is just like ruby, if that makes sense. So I think one of these would be really good for maybe that trim color. Oh, well, you're saying ruby's different than red. I have lots of red. And then I have a couple of different... This enchanted steel is kind of cool. It has a different look to it than like a normal silver. I think it needs to be shaken up though. It looks like it's settled really good at the bottom. But yeah, the enchanted steel is pretty cool. I've got broadsword silver. I've also got some really bright polished silver. That would probably be pretty cool for the main armor. Let's set those over here. Let's see, do I have any other... I think those will be the main. Put Gorilla Glue on it to make it shiny. That's not quite how that works. I think the enchanted steel. What do you think? These two colors for the armor? My bad, heard you got distracted. Now recalled you. Oh, heard you, got distracted. Now recalled you asked me a question. Not bad, just checked out. Wanting it to be Friday because that means vacation time. And Friday would be nice. Yeah. I like this enchanted steel. This brazen, ooh. I don't know which. The brazen copper or the Talos bronze. Like on the picture, they don't. Honestly, the colors in the bottle almost look opposite of what the picture does. Like this picture looks lighter and a little bit more orange, almost gold, and then this one looks more red. But in the bottle, this one looks more red and this one looks more gold. Good job, Army Painter. But again, this one has definitely settled. Needs to be shaken up. The redder one. Well, let me shake these all up and make sure that, you know, we're actually getting the right colors out of these. How's everybody else doing today? I just realized I asked Corthane. He's family, so I you know, I feel like I had to ask him. But how's everybody else doing? You need red somewhere. We'll put some red on him for sure. For sure. I've got kind of a neat idea I want to do for his axe. I think it'd be neat to make it look like it was kind of a molten red hot axe. Like maybe the axe head is magical and is like glowing hot. Exactly, Corthane. You're just an obligation. That's exactly how I would label you, an obligation. You have an ear infection. That sucks. I don't even have anything else to say to that. Ear infections suck. Both the bronze on the two. Well, let me shake them up so that we can get a better idea of like what those two really look like. This is starting to shake up more, but it's still, I don't know. It's settled a lot. Their speed paint metallics are very like I haven't used them in a while, so they've just been kind of sitting here, and they have like metallic flakes and stuff in them, so that's kind of sunk down to the bottom. Red hair. We could probably do red hair, and honestly, red hair kind of makes sense on a dwarf, I think. So I'm gonna put this guy away. Don't need that paint. This one really looks like it has not. I think we'll be red into like a very orange color for his hair. What I'm thinking. And for his beard, his big flowy beard. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the weekend. Where's Anthony Swisher? 8852. I feel like that's not the correct numbers. But he's not here yet, or at least he hasn't announced that he's here. And he's usually pretty loud, so he announces when he shows up, usually. He's very talkative when he shows up. But I don't think he's here yet. I did share the link with them, so they might show up. Oh, also, I had an idea. That is very shiny. I had an idea for some merch. I'm gonna replace my old cheap plastic paint cup that I've been using. But I had an idea for some merch. I'm gonna get a mug that all it has printed on the side is "Don't drink this," and that's gonna be my paint mug. Like, it'll be a bestseller for painters everywhere. You have merch? I'm working on it, Amy. I found a company called Fourth Wall. That's like a print-on-demand company, and they can like integrate directly with both YouTube and Twitch, which I thought was really neat. Because like I can have them, I can have like the merch show up under my YouTube videos and stuff if I want it to be there, and I can have I can give out like discount codes to like YouTube members or Twitch subs, things like that. And so Taltos does have some of my OG merch. I also have some of my OG merch. I have my old hoodie and one of my old shirts from my original thing from my gaming channel from ShiniWifey. All right, these are both shaken up a little bit better. Dang, the supposedly darker one. Like, look, does this not look like they have like the opposite paints in them? How did I do that? Like this bottle is so much darker than this one. What? That's wild. I mean, maybe it will look more like the front when it's dried, but I'm gonna have to take a picture of this and send it to Army Painter and be like, hey Adam. I actually have a contact at Army Painter, so I'll send it to him and be like, is this correct? Clearly I'm colorblind. I've always been colorblind, Taltos. Which is great for painting minis. It really is. Because I don't know if I've done a good job until you guys tell me I have. But yeah, so I got a new logo designed recently, which I don't... Crap, did I change that on my Twitch channel? Hold on. I can't actually remember. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay, I did change it. So that's good. So yeah, I changed it on Twitch, but I was gonna get like a shirt with that logo on it, which I think would be good. And then also like I'm using like just I don't know, I got this water bottle at work. I guess I'll hold it up in the tiny picture of me. But yeah, this is just a, I don't know, normal water bottle. But I think it'd be cool to have a water bottle with the logo on the side. So I was going to do that for merch too. Is that what the Discord channel changed? Yes. I changed the logo on the Discord because it was just a picture of one of my old miniatures that I had painted a while ago. Which is fine, but wasn't, I don't know. I paid a guy on Fiverr to make some logos for me, and I liked them. I kind of gave him free reign. All right, so we said the bronze earlier. The bronze looks way darker in the bottle. So do we want to try the copper or the bronze for the trim? Oh man, and I kind of want to save the metallics for last too. Kind of, I don't know. We'll see. I need, because if I start painting with metallics, I'm going to get metallic flakes in my water, and I don't have another cup of water. I didn't think ahead. I didn't bring down 2 cups of water for painting with metallics. I can still do it though. Okay, we will start with the steel, and then we'll pick the we'll figure out the trim later. But one of these, I don't know. Do we want the darker one or the lighter one for the trim? You guys let me know which you think would look better. The bottles are like the opposite of what the colors are. So I'm going to go off of the color on the bottom. Either the darker red one or the lighter, more gold looking one. But for the main armor, we're going to try this enchanted steel. And we're going to actually get some paint on the mini. Philip does not sound okay. He sounds sick. He's panting really loud. He's probably just hot. He lays on his dog bed, and it's a very like fluffy dog bed, and he gets really toasty on it. Now he's panting fast. It's normal, I promise. Amy the Dorito lady. That's fantastic. Thank you for also joining us on YouTube, Amy. I remember when you used to show up and give everyone chip emojis on Twitch. Back in my my Genshin Impact days. Yeah, okay. This brush kind of started like doing weird splitting like almost right away. That's annoying. I feel so old now. Because of the good old days of Genshin Impact and all that jazz. Paint the shield. We are gonna paint the shield, don't worry. We're gonna get there. I don't know why I like to start close to the bottom of my models. I was gonna say the bottom, but I kind of started at his thighs, which isn't quite the bottom. But yeah, this brush is like really doing some weird splitting stuff. I'm gonna switch to a different one. It was forever ago though, that it feels like so long ago. Like I've technically been doing YouTube and Twitch and everything for over a decade now. My original Shinigaming. I'm gonna try this brush. See if this one's better. What brush was this one? Ghost. Where did I get this brush? China. I went to China. Now, oh, I remember. One of our local hobby shops just had like a display of some brushes. I think this one was like $3 or $4. And I picked it up. Oh, that is Anthony Swisher 8682. He's the one who said paint the shield. I didn't even read the name. I just saw the message, but yes, he is here. Okay, let's try this brush. And it's okay if I get a little bit of it on the trim, because we are going to go back over the trim with our copper, bronze, whichever color we decide to go with. And I know that this color on its own probably doesn't show up super well. Like it's not a, I don't know, it doesn't really stand out all that much. But like his leg here should look pretty, starting to get kind of shiny. I'm offended you can't read. Me too, actually. Actually, I haven't touched Genshin in a hot minute. It made me realize my account is now 6 years old. You've known him for how long? Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, Anthony, you've known me. We're using your government name here. Your government provided name. You've known me for how long? Since Little League Baseball. That's how long. Yeah, I haven't played Genshin in a while either, Amy. I loaded it up recently, and they were giving me like rewards for like being a returning player or whatever, and I didn't even play it enough to get all my rewards. I don't know, I logged in a couple of times and I was like, oh yeah, this Genshin was fun, and then I don't know, it's so hard for me to like get into a game where I need to be like logging in daily and doing all the farming and grinding and stuff, and Genshin requires a lot of gosh dang it, I just read what you said, Anthony. Spitting out the sunflower seeds but not eating the seeds. Diabolical. Oh my gosh. It's true. As a child, I was very weird. As an adult, I continued to be very weird. But yeah, no, I did not like sunflower seeds. But I wanted to, basically, I think I just wanted all like the salt and stuff off of them. Which, you know, I guess when playing baseball, like, I don't know, maybe I was craving the like electrolytes and sodium and stuff from them. I don't know. Like, I definitely wasn't thinking that when I was a kid. I just was like, ooh, sunflower seeds, and then not liking the seeds. I can't believe you remember that. I was such a weird kid that I've like imprinted in his memory how weird I was. That's pretty impressive. They do that if you don't log in for like 3 months. I got burnt out. I did too, Amy. I totally got burnt out on Genshin. I was playing it every single day. I was trying to farm artifacts. I was trying to get primo gems and stuff so I could get all the characters, and it started to feel like a chore. I loved the story. I loved so much stuff from the game, but it just, I don't know, it really was, like I said, starting to feel like chores going in there and trying to do all my stuff every day. That and the ADHD made me want to play other games too. Yeah, and I play a lot of games, and I like to switch between games. I tend to like play a game for a bit and then, okay, gotta take a break, and then switch to another game for, I don't know, a couple weeks, and then like, I don't know, keep switching. I do that a lot with all sorts of games, and Genshin doesn't really easily allow that. Genshin really wants you to play a lot of Genshin. And then like also if you were really in the mood, you're like, oh man, I want to do a ton of farming today, I've got a ton of free time, you were limited on your resin and everything, like basically your, you know, mobile game stamina meter, and that annoyed the crap out of me. I hated being so limited on that kind of stuff. You actually told me that as an adult. I had forgotten about it until you told me, but I specifically remember you telling me in the dugout, and you reminded me that I had that memory. That's amazing. I don't remember telling you this. So that's even weirder. I went up to you and was like, hey, do you remember when we were kids? And I was like, so weird. And you were like, no, I didn't remember that, but I do now. Like, that's even more weird. Why did I do that? Oh, okay. So Mini Shinny, he has this like little gem thing on his wristband here. I think that would be neat. You wanted something red. That'd be neat to kind of paint to look like a ruby, like what you were saying. Some sort of shiny red gem. They still are. Tooth is biting me. I thought I ate with my teeth. Not they eat me. Yeah. You're supposed to use your teeth to eat and not allow them to eat you. It's bad luck. I got freckle-faced Ryan in my head and you just sucking the salt off and spitting it out. Oh man. Good times. Freckle-faced Ryan. I did have a lot of freckles as a kid. I still have quite a few now, but I also have a beard like covering up half my face, so the freckles don't stand out quite as much. That's the only reason I actually have a beard. Freckle face Ryan. I think my parents even told me at one point, they're like, we're not gonna keep buying you sunflower seeds if you don't actually eat the seeds. Oh man, and I don't know if you remember, but there was like the little concession stand at like the baseball fields that you could go to and buy all the random snacks and stuff. And I remember getting like the big old spool of bubble gum. I can't think of the brand name. Like, I don't think it was Double Bubble or something, but still has a freckle-faced daddy. That's probably true. But yeah, there was the big like roll of bubble gum that you could get, and it was like 4 feet long of just bubble gum. Hubba Bubba. That's right. That's right. It was Hubba Bubba bubble gum. And I think there was like a baseball branded bubble gum you could get too. But I remember getting those, but then more importantly, I remember getting Warheads, the really bubble tape, and Big Chew. Yeah, Big Chew's the baseball one I was thinking of. But I remember getting Warheads, the super sour ones. There were like the lemon ones. There were, I think there was like a blue raspberry one. Those were so good. I don't remember getting those as much when we played baseball, but later on I tried a lot of sports when I was a kid. I was bad at all of them, but I played baseball, basketball, and soccer. And there was one year that I was actually playing all three, and that was like the worst decision of my life because you had to go to practice for all of them, and I hated it. And I never played basketball again after that year. And there's bubbles made out of gum. So yeah, I played all those sports, but I remember getting in basketball, like whatever place our basketball courts were at. I feel like it was at like the middle school or something. I would get the lemon Warheads, and we would basically have a competition to see how many of those we could eat at the same time. I don't remember what like our maximum was, but you know, we'd be sitting there with like 10 lemon warheads in our mouth or however many. We weren't the brightest kids. But you can ask ShiniWifey when she eventually returns. I'm assuming that Shiny Baby 2.0 is falling asleep in his bed by now. She was in there with him, getting him in bed. But I haven't seen her type in a little bit. So I'm assuming that she's, you know, in the final stages of him falling asleep and stuff. But she can confirm I have a pretty high resistance to sour things. I should get a mohawk. And Corthane agrees. And he's inflicting bad habits upon my child. That is not how you spell mohawk. I actually had a mohawk once. Like a full-on, they buzzed the sides of my head. It didn't last very long, but I had it when I worked at GameStop. But I didn't keep the sides buzzed, and then I ended up kind of liking the look of like more of the faux hawk more. And it was a lot easier to maintain because I didn't have to keep shaving the sides of my head. Mohawk, mohawk, mohawk. But yeah, no, I actually, I like a mohawk. But I would 100% do like a faux hawk again. You thought that was why they brought it up? Yeah, I want to say like it only lasted like a couple of weeks before the sides had grown out enough that, you know, it didn't really look like a mohawk anymore. Okay, I think I've got most of the base armor painted in this like steel color now. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That would have been like 2006, maybe 2007. It was before I met my wife. That's how long ago it was. All right, let's take a break from the speed paints for a second here. I do like that color, but it's not terribly exciting on camera. So let's start getting some other colors in here. I'm thinking, yeah, we can work on this skin color a little bit. Ooh, I think I have an idea. I'm gonna start with a little bit of a darker skin tone, and we're gonna work our way up from this. But we're gonna start with this onyx skin. Not hearing the metal ball in there. It must be. I don't think I've ever actually used this paint yet. It came in my paint set that I got, but I don't believe I've used this color. So it's probably never been shaken up since I bought these. Or I'm sorry, since ShiniWifey bought me these. She bought me the set of paints. The War Paints Fanatic set. It had like, how many paints is this? $15, $30. It's about 50 paints. 50 something paints maybe. Got a shirt and shorts that says Mohawk, 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 Mohawk. Oh my gosh. Just that's all it's just in text. It just says Mohawk. and then I have a mohawk on my head. That'd be ridiculous. I think ShiniWifey is finally ready for me to get a haircut. She asked me yesterday if I was going to get it cut soon, so I think she's finally starting to get ready for me to cut it. I've kind of let it grow out a little long. It's not so... I was supposed to say you should get a massage gun or something to shake the paint, but then I heard the faint buzzing in the background. Yes, I do have... It's hard to show on camera, but I have this little guy. I think it's like an off-brand Vortex mixer, but it's fantastic. You just push the paint in here and it vibrates really fast. Oh man, that looks so weird on the camera. That's crazy. But yeah, it vibrates it. It's really neat. Beth's been complaining so much she talked to her hairdresser about it. Oh, that's funny. So she hasn't like complained about it yet to me. I think, I don't remember what I was, like I did something and like, I think it was like in my eyes and I was like moving it out of the way. And I think she said something like, are you going to get that cut soon or something like that? That's the only comment she said, but in the back, it's getting a little scraggly back here. It's not long enough for me to like put it in a ponytail or anything. The only time I've ever had it that long was during COVID. Oh, also Purple Mando, thank you for joining. Welcome. How's it going, buddy? I saw you were streaming the other night, but I missed it. I didn't actually get a chance to stop by. I'm not getting any paint out of here. There might be... Sometimes there's some dried paint in the top. So a lot of times I keep a paper clip nearby. Howdy. And get a mohawk and surprise mom. Oh my gosh. She wouldn't mind if I got a faux hawk again. I think she might mind if I had a full mohawk. Also, I do work at a bank, and I don't think they're okay with me having a full mohawk. There's unfortunately certain things that you can't quite get away with when you work in like a professional setting. Oh, she wants to avoid you going man bun again. Yeah, you did have it. You had it fairly long. And then I remembered you'd come over here. I think it was for my birthday when you were dropping stuff off and you had your dogs with you. And I remember that was the first time I had seen you in a while and you had it cut pretty short again. Like the length that I remembered you having it in like high school and college. I think that'd be dope to have someone at the bank with a mohawk. Well, see, the other thing is like, I don't even work in like customer facing part of the bank. I work in IT. So like bank customers, like people that go in to go like, I need to deposit a check. I don't ever see those people. They don't see me. They wouldn't ever see me and think that guy works at a bank. Like we don't cross paths. I work in a concrete building with no windows. And I don't ever see the light of day. Full mohawk. I personally would not mind a mohawk. I'm just saying, like, I think I might get in trouble at work if I just showed up with one. Because they kind of have, like, you know, they've got a dress code and stuff, but they also kind of have, like, certain... I don't know if hairstyles fall into a dress code, but they have certain things that they like frown upon where they're like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Then who would know? Well, my boss would probably know. And unfortunately, me and my boss don't exactly get along. And I've got a feeling he would just somehow use that as an excuse to fire me. That's my only real concern. I kind of like getting paid. probably won't go over too well. Yeah, yeah. Maybe not. Like, again, that's like my only real concern there. Like, otherwise, like, I don't know, if I was working at GameStop or something again, I would 100% do it. But just the fact that I'm in a place that's, you know, not exactly safe for my job. Probably not a good idea. But again, I would not mind like doing a faux hawk again. And I have had a faux hawk even while working at the bank. I just love it when people realize they have free will and can customize their character. Me too. There's so many things you can do. That is not nearly as dark as I thought it was going to be. Like, I mean, I've painted that over some really dark areas, but like, that still looks like normal skin color. It doesn't look like this dark onyx skin on the bottle. I was kind of expecting that to come out a little bit darker. All right, let's get some on his big old bulbous nose here. Go ahead and paint in his eyeball because we'll come back and actually paint an eye later, but for now, I just want to block in some of the main colors here. Oh, and Purple Mando. A lot of my old prop making experience actually does come in handy with like all my cosplay and prop making experience does come in handy with painting miniatures. There's honestly a lot of similarities. They're just much, much smaller. Oh, and off topic, we had, ShiniWifey and I had a nice little chat with our neighbor earlier, who we don't really get to talk to very often. So that was nice. And I'm not like, I'm not being sarcastic or anything either. It actually was like a nice little chat. He's lived there, I think about 2 years now. Maybe a little bit less. He seems like a pretty nice guy. But we share a fence in our backyard, and there's a couple of boards coming loose. So I was wanting to let him know that I was going to try to work on that soon and get those boards replaced. And the main reason I wanted to let him know is because we both have dogs, and I don't want to like be taking down the boards and like his dogs get into my yard or my dogs get in his yard and they get into a fight or something. Like, I don't think our dogs would fight, but I don't know, and I don't want to risk that. So, you know, we had a nice little chat about that, and then our neighbor behind us has like some poison ivy growing through the fence, and so I chatted with him about that. Let's see here. What was this one? Is this a deep skin tone? And this one is just a ruddy brown. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Better be safe than sorry. I think I'll use this buffed hide as like the mid-tone, and then Barbarian flesh maybe as the highlight color. I don't know. We'll see if I need to go any brighter than that, but I think that's what I'm going to start with for the skin. But yeah, that's basically what we were thinking, was like, better let him know, better, you know, talk to him. And, you know, he offered to help if I needed anything. It's only 2 boards, so I'm not super concerned about it. But we were looking, it looks like at some point we're going to have like a whole section of the fence replaced. If not even the whole side of the fence. But for now, I think I can just replace a couple of boards and get us by for a while, because I don't really want to replace a fence right now. But he offered to come help and stuff, but I'm like, it's only 2 boards. I'm not too concerned about it. But it looks like the previous boards, like the 2 that we're having issues with, the top part of the board, like the whole board was like put in with, it was like screwed in normally, or like that's the normal way to do it. I'll help, but not with a fence. Thank you, Garrick. I appreciate that. I think. But the top section, like, because it's usually like screwed in at the bottom, kind of in the middle somewhere, and then up towards the top. The top was just nailed in, and like one of the boards only had like a single nail in it. And basically the whole fence has kind of like shifted a little bit and has flexed. And so it's not really where it's supposed to be. And so those that board has basically pushed and pulled itself out, and that nail just did not hold it in place at all. And I'm like, why in the world did they do this with a single nail? It's no need to thank me. It's the least I could do. Oh, geez, your whole fence fell over? It was wild. And Garrick did not help you with that, so don't trust him. I never would. Like, I still haven't even met the guy. I don't believe he's real. I'll help Tony with his fence. Do I have to give you child's clothing too? Looking good so far. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Are you switching back and forth between Twitch and YouTube, Amy? Like 3 panels, the base rotted out of one post. And when it was super windy that one day, it was all leaning over but still connected. Ah, dang, yeah. We had a section, well, this was like a couple years back, but Mini Shini was playing with her neighbor friend in the back, and they came inside and were like, there's a hole in the fence, and I go out and there's like a whole chunk of a board missing. So I went to go replace that, and when replacing that, we realized, oh hey, this whole section of fence was done incorrectly. This all needs to be replaced. And so I went back to the store and got like 10 boards and replaced. Like, our fence kind of has this weird section where it, like, I don't know, there's like a big wall, and then it kind of does like this in like the corner. So there's like a little part that juts out and goes over for like a 10-foot section. But that it was like little like side section that had to be replaced. So I had to replace, I don't know, 8 to 10 boards maybe, and add like more braces up behind them too. Parents have to get a new fence too. They found a company that's run part-time by first responders that gave a pretty good quote on it. Oh, that's really cool. Say Anthony Swisher 8682. Say it. Not at all. Necrotomb, how's it going? Welcome. How you doing? We were painting a dwarf from Artisan Guild tonight. I like how his face is coming out. It really doesn't look like I've made much progress so far. we started, his armor kind of has some enchanted steel speed paint on it. So it's a little shiny, but it's not really standing out too much yet. I'm also gonna do some copper or bronze for the trim on his armor, because there's some really cool like trim designs and stuff. Like the shield actually might be the best place to kind of see. This middle section is that enchanted steel. It's a really cool like dark iron, dark steel look. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, all this like trim we're gonna paint with like a copper or bronze. But he's got some cool armor. He's got some cool stuff going on. I think we're gonna paint his beard red and his hair. That's what Mini Shinny was suggesting, was red. Oh, I forgot. I can see a little bit of the front of his muscles. He's not wearing any armor on his like upper arms. Like he has shoulder armor here, right? But then you can see the skin of his arms underneath it. Sounds good. Love the model. Thank you. This model's from Artisan Guild. Is a 3D printable model. Artisan Guild makes a lot of really cool, very exaggerated and stylized minis. Watching the whole commercial for you, dog. Thank you, Garrick. You're the best. Are you painting stuff tonight, Necrotomb? Are you playing some Kingdom Death? Or are you just hanging out? That's also fine. Building tonight. Hopefully we'll also do some painting. Nice. So next I'm gonna highlight with some barbarian flesh on his skin. Just peeling the flesh right off these barbarians and sticking it on this guy. That's how we get highlights. That sounded way worse than I meant it to, I think. I don't know, I kind of meant it to sound bad, but it sounded like extra bad. Finished that campaign already, so I'm playing on my next one. Nice. Oh yeah, I remember you saying you had you were fighting that, I don't remember which model it was, but you had the picture with the enemy, and then you had like your 4 hero characters like all lined up in front. Like you were looking at the back of them and you could see the big guy in the background. I remember seeing that picture. Gonna run a short one with your brothers weekend. Nice. I'm actually starting a Star Wars Legion Tours of Duty narrative campaign. I actually posted a video on my YouTube channel the other day, painting the first character for my army. I'm starting a new army, and of course the mini is out of my reach. She's over in my case on the wall over there. I can grab it in a second, but I painted her up for the video, and she's gonna lead. She's going to be the Jedi leader of my Clone Republic army for Star Wars Legion, and I am wanting to do a like solo narrative campaign, which Star Wars Legion isn't exactly designed for that, but Krabok, a fairly large YouTuber in the Star Wars Legion space, kind of created some AI rules during COVID to use for Star Wars Legion. And I have used those before, and they're pretty fun. But now that there is some narrative rules with Tours of Duty, I'm really excited to try those out. And I have played them with a friend of mine, but I've not tried them solo. But I'm hoping to record the gameplay and make some like battle report style stuff. I've done 5 parsecs from home battle reports in the past. Star Wars Legion has a lot more moving parts to it, I think, though, so this might end up being like an insane amount of effort on my part, but we will see, because it sounds fun and I want to do it. Put on my favorite music. Okay, hold on. That picture was actually the second to last monster before the final one. Oh man, okay. So I remembered seeing that picture. I do remember seeing you talk about the other one. Hold on. Mini Shini wants me to put on my favorite one. I'm using Harris Heller's Streambeats because they're all copyright free songs. Here we go. Just gonna watch your 5 parsec videos. I'm interested in the game. Oh, nice. Yeah, I really like 5 parsecs from home. I only have a couple up. I have like one where I started like I did like a session 0 where I create my crew and everything and kind of describe what I'm doing, and then I had 3 episodes finished. And then I had started on a 4th episode, and then that was right around the time that my son was born, and I had no energy at all at that time to try to finish more battle report stuff, and it kind of sat on the back burner, and it ended up basically sitting on the back burner for like a 1.5 years, and I don't even remember exactly where I was, and I was only like halfway done recording it. So I don't think I can continue that campaign. I think I'm going to have to like roll up new characters if I want to do another 5 parsecs video, which is unfortunate because I was actually really having a lot of fun with the campaign we were in, but I don't know if I can't find my papers and stuff. Like it's, I wish I had been more organized back then. So I'm pretty happy with the skin for now. I don't think I need to push the highlights any higher yet, but I am going to start working on his hair and his beard. I do still like my 5 parsecs videos, so definitely don't like, be deterred. Like if you're interested in the game, I feel like I do a pretty good job of showing like all the steps that happen in the game, like not just I feel like 5 parsecs from home is kind of interesting because there's a pre-battle with your crew. Like you have a preparation phase where you can send your guys out to go training, they can go to the shops, they can try to recruit new players or new characters, they can try to look for better paying jobs, like try to find a new quest or something. Like there's some neat stuff they can do beforehand, and you roll on a bunch of like random tables to determine what happens and like what you find and everything. And then you also roll up what's going to happen like on the tabletop battle. So you roll and determine like, here's the enemies I'm going to be fighting, here's how many, here do they have like a special character that's joined them, like all of those kinds of things. Yeah, you were telling me about their settlement phase, so it's kind of like that, I think. Maybe not exactly the same, but it kind of similar. But then you play, after you determine all that kind of stuff, then you play the actual tabletop battle, and it has pretty fun rules. I enjoyed the tabletop battle. It was fairly unique compared to a lot of other like skirmish sized games that I've played. But you You have a crew of 6-ish. You can have less, or technically you can bring more, but the rules are really only designed for you to have a crew of like 6 characters. So you have a fairly small team that you're playing with. And there's a hero on there. So you play the tabletop battle, you try to complete the mission. Sometimes the opponents are actually like much higher skill than your characters. And in fact, one of my videos that I did, the enemies like way outclassed us. Like they were like really tough, and I had a really hard time finishing that mission. And that happens sometimes. And then other times, there was another one where we basically steamrolled the enemy because they rolled really low on like how many enemies there were going to be. So there was only like 3 guys. So our 6 guys just outnumbered them and went in and wrecked them. But then afterwards, you roll to see, oh, did we find any loot on the battlefield? Do we get experience? Do any special events happen? Things like that. And so all of that happens as basically one turn. That's they call it a campaign turn. And so all of those different steps happen, and that all is one single turn. And then you repeat it. You go back and forth. And then there's other things that can happen, like, because it's a space game, and the way they describe their world reminded me of like Firefly. Hold on, Mini Shini, I'll hydrate in a second. I promise. She's very focused on making me hydrate. But yeah, so it's a space game, kind of like the Firefly universe, in my opinion. And Amy also redeemed a hydrate. Thank you. You know what? Since she asked and I got a real hydrate, I will go ahead. We'll do a second one. I got a whole water bottle. Why not? But yeah, so there's like other events that can happen outside of the battle. Like, technically there's like this, in the game's lore, there's like this, alien race that's like these really kind of monstrous creatures that once they like invade a planet, they're like really hard to get rid of. Just for Mini Shini, thank you. And ShiniWifey also redeemed a hydrate. Hold on. I'm gonna drink this whole bottle. But yeah, so there's like these monstrous creatures. So there could be an event that happens where like they invade the planet you're on, and you have to try to flee. So you have a ship, and you might have to try to run to a new planet or something, and you might have some trouble in space, or I don't know, there's all sorts of like random type stuff that can happen, and it's really neat. Like I've kind of only scratched the surface of things that could happen in the game, because I've only played, like I've played a little bit on my own outside of what I was doing for YouTube, but I still haven't played that much. I've probably gone through about 10 or 15 rounds of the game, but it's a neat game. I really like it. They also have a fantasy version called 5 Leagues from the Borderlands, and I've only played like a starter mission of that one, and the rules are a little bit different, but it kind of has a similar structure to it. But man, it felt brutal. It felt like all my people were gonna die like left and right if I wasn't like super careful. And I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if it's just supposed to be more brutal. But it was still a lot of fun. It's one that like I'm gonna have to kind of play around with and see if I can figure it out better, I think. So I'm starting with this kind of darker red on his beard, and I'm going to kind of build it up. I kind of did this with the last mini that we painted on stream. With her hair too. I started darker and I kind of built it up so that it ended up looking more like fire by the time we were done. I don't think I'm going to quite do that with his. I don't want it to look that bright, but there are going to be it is going to build up into more of an orangish red. I guess I can get his eyebrows too. He's got some crazy eyebrows here. Still want to see the other mini. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me rinse my brush. I'm gonna grab the one that we did last week. We finished last week, and I'm gonna grab the one I did for my video, the Jedi. So give me 1 second. I'll grab both of those. It is really fun, Necrotomb. I like it a lot. I like both 5 parsecs and 5 leagues from the Borderlands. I just haven't had a chance to play much of 5 leagues yet, but it looked really cool. Okay, so this is the mini that we painted last week. Or we finished last week, I should say, sorry. She was this really cool swordswoman 3D print from DM Stash. And I really like how her cape turned out. Really happy with that, and I also really like her hair. I was trying really hard to make it look like fire, like kind of an unnatural fiery hair color. So that was a lot of fun. So this is the mini that we painted last week, or I'm sorry, we finished last week. It actually took us 2 weeks to finish her. Set her aside. And then this is the Jedi that I painted for Star Wars Legion. This is a model by Darkfire Designs. She reminds me a lot of like the old, or maybe like High Republic Jedi, where she's got like that slightly different style to her than like what you see in like the Clone Wars or something. But I had a lot of fun with this one. So I painted her for my latest video that's up on YouTube. I had a lot of fun with that one. And it's kind of a different style of video than what I normally do, because this is kind of like I'm preparing for this like narrative campaign, a narrative story. And so the video is kind of talking about, like, it's not just like a tutorial of like, here's how I painted this character, but it's like I'm going through all the things, like I'm prepping for this campaign. And so I'm kind of going through some of those I don't know, story elements, and not just like painting the mini. My boss walked in when I was watching it. Still need to finish. Well, don't get in trouble, man. And then Amy, because you have not been here for a bit, this was another miniature we painted recently. This was a couple weeks back, but we painted this Space Marine. And he was a lot of fun. Mini Shinny actually chose most of the colors for this guy. I chose green for the armor because I wanted to paint him as a salamander. but she wanted some teal, so we did like teal. He's got like it's kind of hard to tell, but he's got like alien armor that's like strapped onto his shoulder. He's standing on an alien's skull here with like some tentacle stuff coming out of it, so she chose this kind of teal color for that. And she wanted the orange on the gun, so she chose that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really liked this guy. He was really neat. And then I've got one more. This was not one that we did recently, but this one was finished my work and was waiting, but still he's the boss. That's fair. That's fair. So this guy was, I was actually using this miniature as like my profile picture for a little bit until I recently had the new logo created. But I had done this kind of like heat effect on his axe head. I had followed a tutorial a while back, and this is kind of what I'm thinking of doing, something like that for this guy's axe, maybe. But I kind of want the like edge of the axe to be the heated part, and not like this one, like the edge of the axe is not hot, so I don't know, or not as hot. Like this part here is like white hot, and then the edge isn't as hot, so I kind of want to reverse that for this guy. We'll see. Contrast is nice. Thank you. Thank you. That is a Templar Necrotomb. My main Warhammer army was Black Templars, and so I had painted this guy up to be kind of like a sword brother or sword brethren. This Mechanic Games rating with a party of 4. Welcome. Welcome. How you doing? You've shown up at a great time. We were just talking about some stuff that I painted recently. Holy moly. Isidore 27 is raiding with a party of 60? Am I reading that right? Holy moly. Welcome, everybody. This Mechanic Games, Isidore 27, welcome. Thank you for raiding. Glad to have everybody here. We are working on painting this dwarf from Artisan Guild, and I was actually just showing off some miniatures that I've painted recently. How's everybody doing tonight? So I guess I'll re-show off those miniatures before we get back to painting. So first off, this is a miniature that I finished last week. We worked on stream to paint this gal. This is a model from DM Stash, and she was a lot of fun to paint. So I'm really happy with how she turned out. I really love the cape. I love this flowing cape on this model. And I'm really happy with not only how the cape turned out, but I really like her hair. I was trying really hard to make it like almost an unnatural fire look. So yeah, this was one we recently finished. Really happy with that one. I'm also doing pretty great. I'm just going to call you Mechanic, if that's okay. This was another miniature I finished painting recently. This is a custom Jedi from Darkfire Designs. I painted this one up for a YouTube video, actually, and finished it pretty recently. But I liked this one a lot. I really liked that like style of armor and character and everything. And then another miniature that we finished recently was this Space Marine Salamander model that I painted here on stream as well. Isidore, my friend Mechanic, and I were hanging out and wanted to share the love. Well, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, this guy was really neat. My daughter actually tends to watch my streams, and she picked a lot of the colors that we used on this guy. She really wanted some teal, so we painted like the Tyranid head down here and the armor plating that he's got strapped on his shoulder with some teal colors. She also chose some of the colors for like the tentacles down here. She wanted some reds and oranges and stuff. She also really wanted orange on the gun, so I, you know, did a little bit of orange there. But yeah, this guy was a lot of fun. I hadn't painted like a Space Marine in a while, and I had a lot of fun with this guy. I normally, whenever I played, I played Black Templars, so I painted a lot of black and not a lot of colorful miniatures. So I was painting a salamander was really fun, actually. So I've primed up a few more that I haven't started painting yet, but I primed up a few more guys with a nice dark green, and then I kind of zenithaled a lighter green from above. So, you know, from below they look pretty dark, and then from above they're pretty bright. So I got a whole squad of 5 of these Infernus Marines that I got ready to paint, but I have not started on them yet. Salamander's your first army. Glory to Vulcan. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I played Black Templars a bit. I started Warhammer in 8th edition, kind of in the middle. Some of my friends tricked me into playing, and I was pretty hooked for a while. And I don't like not like Warhammer, but I found out that I like the rules from a lot of other games maybe more. So I started getting into like Star Wars Legion, which also just, I like Star Wars, and I grew up with Star Wars. I didn't grow up with Warhammer, so I had a lot more like attachment to Star Wars. So it was a lot easier for me to get into a game like Star Wars Legion, if that makes sense. And then I've also found a lot of like solo and co-op games, like 5 Parsecs from Home and 5 Leagues from the Borderlands. I've started playing a lot of those types of games too, and really enjoying them. See, Mechanic says you've moved on. A fellow Black Templars player, very nice. You moved on to Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. I have not played Conquest yet. How does that play? What type of system does that use? I need a little bit more water for this red. I think I let it dry down just a little bit more than I want. I'm working on this guy's hair. I don't think I'm going to quite get it to that like same level of fieriness of that last one that I did. I don't know if that's quite the look I want for it. Trench Crusade is pretty fun. I've not tried that yet. One of my coworkers and I were talking about it. One of my coworkers, he's pretty much the only person I get to play like in-person games with. So I've done a lot of like solo and co-op stuff just here at home. I don't know. It's hard to find people that play the same type of stuff as me, I guess. Oh yeah, and it was hard to pick the mini for tonight. I do have a lot to choose from. She's not wrong. ShiniWifey is not wrong. I'll let you know when I finally get this army done and get some games in. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, definitely let me know. I'm always curious about different war games. I was watching a YouTube video earlier today. There's I think he's Australian. He runs a larger channel, like a larger wargaming. Well, I say larger. He runs a, I don't know, 10 to 20,000 subscriber wargaming channel, and they play a lot of co-op games and stuff. And he recently started like a tabletop of the morning, I think is the name of his channel, and basically he just gives like wargaming news on different games. And today he was talking about one that looked really cool. That's like a print and play game. And and I can't for the life of me think of the name of the game, so I'm really sorry. I'd have to like pull up the video. Yes, and most mini nerds do have a lot of minis. It's true. And it doesn't help that I also have a 3D printer, so I can print way more minis than I actually need, in addition to, you know, buying a lot of stuff. Better get going. Need to sleep. Take care and have fun. Thank you so much, Isadora27. Again, thank you for the raid from both of you guys. Actually, that's really, really awesome. I really appreciate that. Looking into Black Grail or New Antioch. I think New Antioch was the one I was looking at. They looked pretty interesting. I think that's the one. Your homie plays New Antioch. Are they the ones that have the I think there were some like night, like they almost reminded me of like Sisters of Battle, but they had like great swords or something. I might be thinking of the wrong one. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you're welcome to stay, mechanic. I wasn't trying to kick you out. I was just meaning, I guess, you know, I was thanking you both again for raiding, but then also, you know, trying to say goodbye or good night to your buddy. I just hydrated, Mini Shinny. You can't make me hydrate too many times. For those new, the ShiniWifey account from YouTube is actually my daughter, Mini Shinny, who is commenting, and the ShiniWifey on Twitch is my wife. It's a little confusing, but we didn't want to give Mini Shinny a full YouTube account yet. She has like a child's account, but it apparently doesn't let you comment on live streams. I already hydrated. You had me hydrate. I already did it just a second ago. Yeah, she's trying to drown me. She's had me hydrate like 4 times already, I think. Okay, so we're gonna move up into some pure red on top of the basilisk red we just did. Actually, that's a really nice deep red on there. But yeah, we're gonna go into some pure red next. No. She has been having a blast watching these streams. I used to do gaming streams, and then I was like, you know what? These are going to be a lot more fun. And I was right. These are a lot more fun. These are way better. But she can actually, you know, hang out with us too. Which is great. She really enjoys painting and stuff as well, which is probably going to be terrible on our wallets eventually. But I'm really glad that we can involve her in this kind of stuff and have her hang out with us while we're streaming. It's a lot of fun. Oh, that's right. One of them was Mom. Yeah, so we are gonna get a lot of this pure red on here and kind of get a little bit of highlight coloring going on here. And we'll probably take this up like one more shade and do a little bit of an orange. Again, I don't want to go quite as high as I did on the other mini that I was showing earlier. I don't want to get that far into like looking like fire. Yep, and one for Amy, that's true. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I'm done building. Ooh, my brother wants to do Giga Lion, so I'm going to touch up mine tonight and bring it with me. Very nice. He is prepping some Kingdom Death stuff, which I also have not played yet. There's so many good games to play, honestly. Like, there's so much good choice out there. I feel like, you know, a couple of decades ago, you pretty much had, like, Warhammer Fantasy, and, like, Battletech. Maybe a couple of other lesser-known things, but, like, those were, like, the big names. Like, those were what choices you had. And now there's tons of good stuff out there. There's Star Wars games. There's Warhammer. There's Battletech is still around. Like there's all these little games that are popping up too, and print to play games that have shown up. 3D printers have made some great strides for being able to get minis out there and stuff. Like it's a great time to be a war gamer, I think. Sleeping in? This doesn't sound like sleeping in. This is, I mean, I guess I am excited when I get to sleep in, and it does sound like a pretty excited song. Maybe this is the right song for sleeping in. I don't know. I feel like it's exciting enough that, like, I would wake up if I was hearing it, but maybe it's the feeling of sleeping in that it's trying to convey. Do I go to any wargaming conventions? That is a great question. I was actually just telling ShiniWifey the other day that I would love to go to, like, Adepticon someday. I've never been to any of the wargaming conventions. I feel like I'm kind of new-ish to the wargaming scene. I started playing Warhammer in 2018. And I started painting back then too, but then, you know, COVID hit and I didn't do a whole lot for a little while. And then, you know, now we're back to a point where it's a lot easier to go and play games and stuff like that. We have several good local stores here that I go and play at sometimes, and I, you know, buy stuff from there and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I have not been to any of the conventions. I would love to. LVO. Necrotomb's been to LVO. I don't know which one LVO is. You missed Adepticon this year, but went in 2025 and it was a blast. Like, I saw some really cool stuff from this year. It looked really cool. I would love to go to that one. Like, I think that's like the big one. That's like the, you know, the Comic-Con of wargaming conventions, I think. Let's see, ShiniWifey. I forgot to tell you that my friend just shared a bunch of her minis that she's been painting. The latest one was Alice in Wonderland. She said not to look too closely at the faces, and I told her that you had a YouTube tutorial on faces. I do have a YouTube. Well, I have a tutorial on eyes. I don't really have a faces one yet. I should make a faces one. That would be a good idea. Okay, so we got some nice red. I think this might be a mistake, but I think I'm gonna bump this up into the lava orange on his hair. Get one more shade forward. Las Vegas Open. Ah, okay. I've definitely not been there. I've actually not been that far west. I've been all the way to the coast on the east, but I've never, I guess that doesn't make sense to a lot of you that don't actually know where I'm at. I live in Kansas. So, I've been out to Colorado and New Mexico. I've been a little bit further west, but I really have not been very far west. but I have been pretty far east. I've driven all the way out to Pennsylvania, and I've flown out to Washington, D.C. You can totally bring the whole family, and many people do that. Oh yeah, I would love to go up to like Adepticon with everybody. That would be I don't think I would be able to go by myself. I think ShiniWifey would be upset if I went by myself, because she also loves a lot of these, like she started painting recently. Well, I say recent. She started painting miniatures recently. She's been very artistically inclined pretty much her whole life. She's great at art stuff. And but I got her to start painting a couple of miniatures recently. Hello, neighbor. Mechanic, are you also in Kansas, or are you nearby? I mean, you don't have to dox yourself by any means. Like, Kansas itself is kind of not super revealing because, you know, it's kind of big. All right. Up in Iowa. I've been up in Iowa several times, actually. ShiniWifey has family from Iowa area. That's where her dad is from. And we used to go up and visit some of her family up there. Up in Spirit Lake, which is way up at the north end of Iowa. Up near... I feel like I'm going to say the wrong state. Like, in my head, it's not... is it Minnesota? Or is it Michigan? I feel dumb for... I think my brain is just, like, fried from work today. It's one of the M states. That's all I can think of. I promise you that I normally do know my geography, but I definitely don't right now. Yeah, her dad grew up in Spirit Lake, and her uncle, I guess you could say too. Minnesota border. See, I knew it was one of those two. Or at least I didn't think it was Montana. That would have been really bad. You're central Iowa. We also, years ago, we actually drove up there to pick up a dog. We met them kind of halfway. Was it like the Red Barn or something like that? I feel like was what it was called. More Midwesterns, yay! But yeah, we years and years ago, ShiniWifey had picked a dog out, and we went up there and got him, and he was our baby. He was our first. He was a long-haired German Shepherd, and he was our baby. We had him when we first moved into our house. He was our first dog together in our house, and he was a fantastic dog. BRB, no problem. But yeah, no, I would love to go to a couple of different conventions for not just war games, but like, you know, there's different tabletop conventions that I think would be really, really cool to go to. And ShiniWifey and I both have gone to like anime conventions and comic conventions and stuff. We've gone up to Kansas City for a couple of different ones. They have Planet Comic-Con there and NakaCon, and we've done both of those, and we've done a couple of smaller ones. We also go to Renaissance fairs, all that good stuff. Like, we're both very, very nerdy people. So I would love to go to some more conventions, and I think Mini Shini is definitely at the age where she can enjoy that kind of stuff too. Shini Baby 2.0 is the one that's he's going to be a handful for us, trying to do some of this kind of stuff. We are going to the Renaissance Festival this weekend. We have a local festival that we're going to be going to. And this weekend is ShiniWifey's birthday weekend. So we're going to be also doing some birthday celebration type stuff. Because that's right, I did not forget. I can pretty proudly say that I do not forget those kinds of things. I remember birthdays, I remember anniversaries. I don't believe ShiniWifey can yell at me if she wants, but I don't believe I have, or if I'm wrong, I don't believe I have forgotten any major important dates for us in all of our years of being together. Which has been a few. We met back in 2008. And we got married in 2010. And we have been together for quite some time. And she is a 420 baby. Her birthday is on Monday. So I think it's customary to say like 420 blaze it or something like that on her birthday. I don't know. She's probably gonna slap me. Like she's just gonna come marching down the stairs. Give me a big old slap. Sorry, I think I was holding him a little bit out of focus there, but I think I'm pretty happy with that orange. I was worried that it was gonna get too far into like the fiery look, but I think that looks pretty good. Like he's not quite going into like the ooh, stretch. That's a good idea, Amy. Thank you. But I think that's going into like the kind of classic red hair without being quite like carrot top color. Sorry, I'm rinsing out my brush a little bit before I don't let you forget my birthday. We celebrate all week. That's true. We do celebrate birthdays for like a whole week when we have birthdays. We have like the birthday weekend, we have the birthday week. I need to add a channel point reward that's like a inexpensive one that makes me do like push-ups or squats or something. I'm gonna stretch my legs too. Kick out those feet. I would stand up, but I actually rolled my ankle earlier and it's a little sore. I was walking in my car when I was leaving work and there was like a loose brick or something on the sidewalk and it shifted just enough that I lost my balance and rolled it. So it's a little bit swollen at the moment. All right. So now let's go ahead. Let's start working on this trim. Because I think painting those colors in, I think that's going to do a lot for just the overall look of this guy. Like I'm actually really happy with his hair and beard, but I think adding that in there. She fell asleep with all her Pokemon in her arms. That's fantastic. I figured she had probably fallen asleep. I hadn't heard anything from her in a bit. All All right, so we were talking earlier about doing either brazen copper or Talos bronze for the trim color. Now, on the picture, brazen copper looks a little darker and a little bit more red, and Talos bronze looks a little bit, I don't know, lighter, maybe more orange. But then when you look at the bottoms of the bottles, they look like the opposite of what the label says. So either somehow I miraculously switched the paints to the other bottle, or my other thought is that ShiniWifey is playing a prank on me, and she came down here and switched the labels on the bottles. She's probably not going to admit to it, but that's what I'm thinking, that it was her. But yeah, which one do we want for the trim? Talos bronze or brazen copper? What color are we thinking for the clothing? So we did, it's kind of hard to tell. His armor, we've already painted with enchanted steel is the name of the paint. So parts of his shield and parts of his armor already have that. It just doesn't stand out that much. It hardly looks like it's painted at all. But like if you look at his back, it's just a little bit shiny, a little bit reflective, whereas the rest isn't. But I think once we add some of the trim of whichever color we go with, I think that's going to add a lot, actually. No, it's okay. You weren't here for that part, I don't think. I'm just not sure which one we want for the trim. I was going to let you guys decide. Copper. All right. Amy's thinking brazen copper. At least I'm assuming that's the one, right? Brazen copper and not the Talos bronze. I'm leaving it up to you guys, because then that way, if it looks bad, I can blame you guys. I'm kidding. That's not actually, I wouldn't blame you guys. I felt bad about saying that right after I said it, actually. But we will do the brazen copper. We will try that for the trim. And I don't know if we'll get too much farther than that tonight. We will, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to do the brazen copper. I'm shaking it up a little bit more in my paint shaker over here. Because it really looks like there's still some that has like settled down here. Because like this looks really bright, and then this looks really dark right here. But then on this side, it's bright again. So I feel like some of the paint has just settled down in it, and like the top is still kind of dark too. Let's see if the copper looks slapped on. Let's slap it on there. We're just gonna take it and we're gonna slap it on. Wouldn't that be crazy? If you could just do stuff like that, that'd be wild. But it is speed paint, so this part is going to go kind of quickly. I've got to be careful and not get it on other things, but these speed paint metallics are pretty nifty. I guess I should actually mention all of these speed paint metallics that I've used so far, like the enchanted steel I used earlier, the other bronze one I was showing, I actually have a set of like 10 of them. Army Painter, the company that makes these, the Army Painter, they actually sent me this set kind of early on whenever I was starting doing a painting channel. I had reached out to them because they said they had like an affiliate program, or like a creators program, I think is what they called it. And I was like, hey, how does this work? What kind of requirements do I need to have to join that? Because I was still pretty small. I mean, it's still small right now. Just slap it on like those reels on Facebook, dude, right? But yeah, I was like, no, I'm a pretty small channel. I was like, what, how many subscribers do I need? What kind of metrics do I need to hit before you guys would consider letting me join? And they were like, oh, we don't actually, they're like, we're not that strict on this kind of stuff. They're like, if you've got a valid YouTube channel and everything, they're like, you can join our creator program. And I was like, oh, neat. And they were like, hey, would you like to test some speed paint metallics? Oh man, excuse me. And so they sent me a set of 10 paints, and they're like, hey, can you make a video for these? And I was like, I sure can. They did not require any, like, I didn't have to go in the video and be like, these paints are amazing. Like, they did not require anything like that. The only thing they asked was that if I had any problems, that I reach out to them first, because it could be like a production mistake, or like they wanted to try to fix whatever the problem was. Like if I ran into like a bad paint bottle or something, they wanted to fix it, you know, so I could have a better experience before I just go in the video and like bash them or something. But I really did not have any complaints. I think there might have been like 2 colors in the paint, or in the set. I think it's these 2, Glittering Loot and like Hoplite Gold, are really, really similar. I think that was like my only complaint, was like these 2 were like almost the same. Like looking at the bottles, they're slightly different, but they're really close. But then you get some cool stuff like that enchanted steel and the copper. You also get like one like this Aztec gold is kind of cool. It's got that green hue to it. So there's some cool paints in there. But yeah, that was like my only like complaint, was that 2 of them were kind of similar. All right, so I'm gonna have to be kind of careful for this part, but we're gonna kind of work our way around the trim on his armor. But yeah, it was really cool that they sent me those paints. And I've talked on and off with my contact at the Army Painter. I haven't reached out to them for a little bit. I kind of only recently got back into making painting content. I'd kind of taken a break when our son was born. And kind of, I don't know, wasn't really doing anything serious. And so I was like, I don't want them to waste their time, you know, sending me stuff if I'm not even like seriously making videos. They did, before I kind of stepped away though, they did send me another set that I haven't made anything with yet, but they sent me the Fanatic starter set, which is a really cool set because it comes with primer, it comes with a miniature, it comes with a brush, and it comes with a lot of good colors. But I just haven't made a video for that yet. I haven't even opened that set. I felt bad because I haven't made a video, or I didn't have a video ready to make, so I hadn't started. I didn't want to open it and use them until I was ready to make a video. So I want to sit down and make something. I do think that that's a really good starter set because it literally comes with everything. Like if you, like, I'm thinking about it from like a gift giver's point of view, right? So like, let's say I had a niece or a nephew or something that was like really excited about learning to miniature paint. They've been watching their favorite YouTuber, Shinny's Tabletop Adventures. It's got to be me, right? So they've been watching their favorite YouTuber and they're like, I want to paint miniatures. That paint set has everything you need. It has a miniature, it has primer, it has paints, it has a brush. You don't need anything else other than that. And that set has everything. It's pretty cool though. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was neat. I'm not like one of their, like, you know, go-to people that they're gonna always send stuff to or anything. But it is neat that they've sent me stuff. I feel very honored that has happened, and I would like to I would like to make a good video for that set that they sent me. Like I want to pay that forward and everything. Did you know that I had that set? I could have been using Fantastic Paint this whole time. You bought me, so these paints that you bought me are the same type of paints. They're the War Paints Fanatic. And you have been using these paints. Glad Minnie Shiny fell asleep early. We have a field trip in the morning. Oh, that's true. I forgot about the field trip. I knew she had, and she has her show tomorrow. Man, she's gonna have a really busy day. But yeah, you have already been using my War Paints Fanatic. I just haven't opened that starter set. I have all those same colors that are in the starter set separately. I was honored that you were honored. I don't know how to respond to that, if I'm being honest. Oh, dang it. I just smudged a little bit on his back. You can't really see it though, so we'll just pretend I didn't say that, and we'll pretend that none of you can see it, right? I think, Amy, this was a good color choice. I think this is going to work really well. Like look at that leg. Like that, those two tones go really well together. Oh, I think there's a little bit on there that I missed, actually, that I can add a little bit. There's like a half circle shape that kind of goes up and over. Right there, yeah. Oh, and he's got like a, I don't know, like a second. Oh, that's the bottom of the thigh. Okay, yeah. Well, that still needs to be painted though. At least I picked well getting you new paints. You did. You did a great job picking these paints. These are fantastic. I use these paints a lot. And like, it's not just because like Army Painter has sent me stuff. Like I actually do genuinely like these paints. I also have some Vallejo paints. I have some Citadel paints. But here in the Midwest, getting Army Painter paints is like really easy. Like everywhere, every local shop has them. I'm watching more commercials. Thank you, Anthony. This has been productive. Love hanging out and painting. Thank you. I enjoy it too. This, honestly, like not just because, you know, you guys are here, but this is one of my favorite times. I really enjoy like this social aspect of this, like being able to hang out with you guys and paint. Like it helps me actually get stuff done. I'm really bad about like thinking about painting and thinking about doing stuff, but by having this stream where it's like I have it scheduled and I plan to do it every week, it's like already, I don't know, it's already on my calendar, so like I know it's coming, so I have this like dedicated time to paint and hang out with everybody, and I really enjoy that. I like that a lot. Okay, so he's got like this really cool section of like kind of like rune symbols or something on his chest armor here, and I think that whole section should be this copper color. Like, I think that looks cool like that. I hate the ads so much. I do too. I apologize. I have both YouTube and Twitch set to like the lowest setting possible that it will allow me to, because I also am not a big fan of ads. But I feel like everywhere, like YouTube, Twitch, like all the places have like increased the amount of ads that you get. It's fine. We will watch them for you still. Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. But I have tried my best to not just completely like inundate everybody with ads. Oops. Oh, good. Well, I haven't painted that part yet. I accidentally got a little bit on the fur. Boots with the fur. I don't actually know that song. I just know that one line. I've been trying to talk to you into mini painting for streaming forever now instead of gaming. I'm glad you finally came to the right side of the river. Don't want to be like Benny. You're on the wrong side of the river. Such a good movie. I had wanted to, but I felt bad. So for a long time, I was streaming. I was streaming games, and I tried to do both game streaming and tabletop streaming. But as you might imagine, those audiences don't always overlap. But also, I don't like taking too much time away from my family, and trying to dedicate multiple nights a week to streaming is not easy, and it's also just, it's a lot harder on ShiniWifey. I don't want to make her like have to deal with the kids all on her own every time I want to stream. Like I don't like that, and she probably doesn't like it either. So, you know, I wanted to just do one night a week, but I was streaming with some friends, and I felt bad because I didn't want to just be like, see you later, losers. I'm going to paint miniatures. Bye. But that's kind of what I did anyways. I think I said it a little bit nicer than that, but I did kind of, I was like, hey, I think this is going to be better for me. I think it's better for my mental health too. Like being able to paint miniatures and stuff. Like this is so relaxing for me. I love this. And I think that this was a good choice. I think, you know, painting miniatures is a lot of fun, but I also think that, you know, doing this stream versus the other stream, like this is just the better option. Like from like a, I don't know, business perspective or whatever you want to call it. I think this is the area that I actually have like more chance to grow and stuff too. I knew you would enjoy this. It's nice and relaxing. It is. This, like, I love painting miniatures, and I love doing this kind of stuff. I love hanging out with all you guys too. But like, I think this is the direction I needed to go to. And so I'm trying to focus on my my YouTube channel. I'm trying to focus on the Twitch streaming aspect for, you know, the miniature painting and not the gaming. Like there's still, like, I'm not saying like, oh, you can't grow as a miniature painter, or I'm sorry, as a gamer. Like it's still possible. There's people out there that do it. I don't think I have the right like personality though to be that like super energetic you know, like so excited all the time gaming personality. Like I don't think that's me. And so I think this is just a better direction to go. Glad I took the break I needed. Your care comes first. It is true. I'm also glad I did that. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be doing this. And I think that this is something that I can probably do for a very long time without getting like burnt out. Like, because again, this is like super relaxing for me. This is a really enjoyable hobby. And like an easy to enjoy hobby too. Happy to have me on this side of things. Me too. I'm glad to be here. I've probably said this before. I really like these speed paint metallics. And again, it's not just because they sent them to me. Like these for speed paints, these have like amazing coverage. Like they work so well. I've done all I can with this line for now. I'll call it done. You finished building him, right? You said that earlier. Did you start painting him, or like are you done for now, or is he like done? Did you paint the whole thing? The Giga Lion or whatever he was. Like are you all the way done? I'm just trying to figure out like what step you're at, I guess. And I mean, I still game and stuff too. Like I'm not like done gaming by any means. I don't really have an interest in like trying to be a gaming YouTuber or, you know, streaming games. I mean, I guess if, you know, the opportunity came up, I might, you know, like I could stream something occasionally, but like I don't want that to be the focus. I want miniatures and tabletop games and stuff like that to be the focus too. Oh, he had paint already. You finished him up. Okay. I thought, sorry, I misunderstood something. I thought you had like started building him, but I think you built a different model. But like I was thinking like you had built and then fully painted him tonight, and I was like, holy moly. I was like, you work fast. I have to get going now. We'll catch you guys next stream. Amy, thank you so much. Thank you for leaving some Doritos for everybody. It's always appreciated. And welcome back. It's been a while. I was glad to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And just for your reference, I am streaming every Wednesday. Unless we actually did have some bad weather one week, so I streamed on a Thursday instead. But I tried to post either in my Discord or on my I make posts on my YouTube channel as well. So if you have not subscribed to me on YouTube and you are interested in continuing to, you know, follow along and hang out, you're more than welcome to either join my Discord or subscribe on YouTube. Sorry. And I do have I actually have a bot set up to do this. First, let's see if this works. I made a Discord thing. Ta-da! And I made a YouTube thing. So that way, if you were interested, you are more than welcome to join the Discord and come hang out. You can share your miniatures that you're working on, stuff like that in there. Yeah, and keep up to date just kind of on what's going on. Like I said, I will definitely post in there if like I have to miss a stream or anything like that. And I also, you know, make announcements with, you know, if I've posted a new video or anything like that. Welcome to the Discord, Amy. And no pressure to anybody else, but anyone who wants to is welcome to join. Oh, sorry, I was holding him too high up. I was holding him out of focus and everything there. Amy, this copper was a good choice. I like it. This was good. This song is like really sad. Hold on, I gotta skip this. It was like almost at the end anyways, but I had to skip it. I could not listen to that. Oh, I missed his leg down here. What was I doing? I'm gonna rinse my brush real quick. Good night, Amy. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you again soon. Ew, I got dried paint on my... See, this is the only thing I don't like about metallics is, well, and sometimes speed paints too, but if you don't rinse your brush often enough, it dries in there and gets all gunky. And metallics are kind of especially bad because a lot of times they have those like metallic flakes in the paint, and those get kind of gunked up in there too. And I really wasn't rinsing like I would with normal acrylic paints because speed paints don't really like water all that much, and so I was trying to not rinse it as much as I could, so that way I didn't have to keep drying it out. So that might have kind of come back to bite me a little bit there. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit too far over. I really wish, so my monitor is like up a little bit. It's like, it's not directly in my sight line. Like I really wish I could have my preview like straight in front of me, like right here. But it's like up out of my sight line just enough that I don't always notice right away if I'm holding my miniature too far like up or to the side. So I might have to look at adjusting that so that I can position the monitor better. But it's, I don't know, it's at a good height for my my paint stands, my paint racks. But I'm also not 100% sure if I want to keep using these paint racks. I like them. Interesting looking clone trooper. Valandar. Oh man, I totally forgot to change the name of my Twitch stream. I am so sorry. I didn't even think about it. I apologize. I've updated my YouTube. I changed my thumbnail. I made a thumbnail. I made a post in my Discord all about what I was painting tonight. And then I completely 100% forgot to change my Twitch title. I painted I painted a clone trooper last week. I actually have the clone trooper right over here. If you want to see him, I can show him to you. My dogs say it's bedtime, so goodbye, Anthony. Have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Damp brush is the best assistant with any form of contrast or speed paint. I do agree, damp, but like slightly damp. Anthony, thank you. $5 super chat. I say good night. That reminds me of like, I say good day. But thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out. Always appreciated. I'm not... Who's the dwarf sculpted by? This is by Artisan Guild. He was in a pack that I got from them maybe like 2 years ago. I don't remember which pack this is. I'm sorry. It came with like the dwarf king, like a mountain king, and he has like a hammer that he's holding up with like lightning bolts coming off of it. And I think he had an alternate sculpt where he's on like a big stone throne, and like there's more dwarves that are like carrying the throne, which is wild. But yeah, Artisan Guild has like a very distinct style and a very they're so stylistic. I like it. I don't believe I've painted an Artisan Guild mini for the channel before. I don't think I've done one on stream, and I don't believe I've done one for my YouTube channel either. But I have a lot of their stuff. I really like their stuff. But they've, like you were saying, like it's a very distinct, it's a very recognizable style, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I have a ton of their models. I like Artisan Guild because they know where to add the high level detail and where to leave smoother spaces for the eye to rest. Yes. Like he's got a lot of detail, but then like his back, like his middle of his back, there's not really, you don't really need detail right here. And that looks great. Center of the shield. Yep. Like I could add a decal there if I wanted. Sorry, I'm holding them too high. I was just talking about this. I tend to move around too much and hold stuff too high. Or freehand. That's true. That's true. If I was better at freehanding. But I'm not going to get better if I don't try. So maybe I'm going to need to try sometime. I think I let too much paint dry on my brush again. It feels all gunky. Yeah, this actually might be a good one to attempt some freehanding. There's companies and individuals out there that put so much high frequency detail over the entire surface that it looks like noisy mud on the tabletop, even if you do get the teeny bits painted. I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. I was trying to think of one like off the top of my head, because I've seen some other designs that are just messy is like the best way I can describe it. Like, don't get me wrong, like they look great, but like you said, there's just so much detail that, like, if you try to paint everything and try to get all the details covered, it's too much. It just looks like a mess. And I think you're right. I think Artisan Guild does a good job of not doing that. And they've got a lot of fun designs too. I've subscribed to them kind of off and on for a while, and every once in a while they have something where I'm just like, oh, I don't think I need that this month. But honestly, they have a lot of good months. And posted, he now goes back in the case. Nice. I won't name them, partly because I'm a sculptor myself, and yes, this means I have favorites among my counterparts. That is fair. That is fair. Do you digitally sculpt, Valandar? Do you make awesome miniatures? Mostly digitally, though I did some putty sculpting around 1999 or so. That's a little ways back. I probably did some sculpting back in school back then, but not digitally. And I do guess digitally was kind of what I was thinking of, because like this would have been, you know, digitally sculpting. But I wasn't sure, like, if you also made stuff like not necessarily like Artisan Guild, but like if you were that type of sculptor or not. Been painting minis since 1984. Dang. I don't want to make you feel even older, but I was negative 4 years old in 1984. I did not exist yet in 1984. I don't have any projects currently available. Most of what I do is on commission. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. So I might want to reach out to you soon, if that's okay. Because a little while back, I was actually trying to commission some stuff, and I really didn't know where to look. I had looked on a couple of like subreddits and stuff, and everyone was kind of like, oh, just go on Fiverr and pay so-and-so and do this. And eventually I picked out a couple of modelers on Fiverr, and I paid some money and I got some models made. And don't get me wrong, I do like the models that I got. However, I had to send them back a couple of times from two different creators. I had to send them back and get some inconsistencies fixed. And when I was looking at the models, there were a couple of times where I really was kind of like, I don't want to accuse them of it, but there were some things that I felt like might have been made with AI. And I don't want to use AI stuff for creative things like that. And I couldn't prove it, but I also didn't want, I don't want to accuse them of doing it. I would like to see your stuff, actually. Yeah, and you did guess. I don't know for sure. But there were some weird things with like overlapping geometries and stuff that I'm sitting here. I'm like, if a person was modeling this, like, why would they have done it this way? And maybe it was, legitimate mistakes, and they did fix it very quickly. They did, both modelers, like two different modelers, went back and fixed mistakes, and they were different kinds of mistakes on each one. It wasn't like they both had the exact same problem or anything like that. But it was just stuff that like I really was unsure if it could have been AI or not. And I'm not familiar enough with 3D models. I have some experience with looking at them and stuff. And I have dabbled in creating my own. I actually, after that experience, I actually bought a Udemy course on sculpting for miniatures, because I wanted to give my own. I'm like slurring my words. I wanted to take my own shot at it. Is what I'm trying to say. I wanted to take a crack at it. But I've only done like part of that course so far. I would like to see your stuff. Yes. I'm going to open that in my other tab here. And I will take a peek at that a little later. Oh, those look cool. I'm just kind of scrolling through it right now. I'm not signed in and it's yelling at me. I was absolutely not unsure. These models they wanted me to clean up, they had paid hundreds of dollars for it, have been done with AI with the concept art submitted, and they wanted me to clean it up. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed. Back in 2024, I worked on contract for a company I will not name, but the first job they wanted me to clean up was some work that had been done with AI. Yep. And again, like, I'm not going to accuse these guys. I'm not going to like shame them or anything, because I don't know. But there were some weird things that I'm like, but then, you know, the fact that they cleaned it up, like, you know, I asked them to fix it, and it was fairly quick turnaround from both of them for, you know, fixing the issues that I had. And I'm like, okay, so they at least had the skills to do it the right way, or to fix it, you know. So I'm like, so they have some skill. And if they, sorry, I was holding it up too high. So, you know, maybe they're just trying to use AI to get to that end product quicker, so they can, I don't know, make more faster. But I don't know. I don't really want AI made stuff. This AI chapter in life has been crazy. It really has been. I work in IT, and there is a lot of big push in the IT world for a lot of AI stuff. Some people are all for it. Some people absolutely hate it. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe my stance. I'm not like, I guess I'm not exactly pro or against AI. I think there are valid uses for AI out there. I think there are things that it can genuinely help with and could be beneficial to use. But I think there are things that it doesn't need to be used for, like creative stuff. Like I enjoy doing creative things. Why would I want AI to do the creative thing for me? Like, that is confusing to me. Heck, if you want, I'm usually willing to stream the sculpting so you can both watch it happen and so you can make art direction changes mid-sculpt. That's really cool. Assistive AI, awesome. Generative AI, problematic. That is a great way to explain that. Yes. Yes, I love that. Okay, so I can see so much more detail on my laptop. I sent Mini Shini to bed so she can get some proper sleep. Oh yeah, you've been watching on your phone, haven't you? Oh, and I think you were still with Shini Baby earlier, but YouTube actually, they posted something on my, it was like on my dashboard, but they said they had fixed like the lagging issue with live streams on web and on TVs. And so I think that's the issue that Mini Shini was having, where it was like lag and kind of like catch up. It was like kind of doing a weird stuttery thing, but YouTube claims that they fixed it. So hopefully she didn't really have any more issues. There's a woman who escaped from North Korea who got together with a South Korea company and trained a text-to-speech AI on her own voice. Now she can generate translated text as a voiceover on her videos in her own voice. That's interesting. It's kind of wild too. Like I'm still trying to like processing that, I think. Like I've heard of people like escaping from North Korea before, and it's wild to me to like thinking like you know, we are so privileged here in a lot of ways, and like thinking of someone like escaping from their country to another country is kind of wild. There's a historian and filmmaker who used AI to refine the frame rate and clean up colorized images of newsreels from World War I. He displays them side by side with the originals, and it's amazing. Oh yeah, that is amazing. See, those are like, in my opinion, like that is like a really amazing use for that kind of thing. At work, for example, I spend a lot of time digging through log files, you know, searching for error codes and trying to figure out like why something broke, and AI is pretty dang good at searching it faster than I can and giving me a readout of like what the error codes are. And sometimes it can give you ideas on what might be wrong. Sometimes it is horribly wrong. Like it has no idea what is wrong and it just makes stuff up. But yeah, things like that I think makes sense. I don't really want to spend hours searching through log files to figure out what broke. So if I can just dump the log file into an AI to search for it, to search for error codes and stuff, I think that's a decent use. It's not nearly as cool as what you were describing, obviously. Like nothing I'm doing is like documenting these amazing, you know, historical moments and stuff like that. But it's like, it's one of those useful things. But then like, you know, I'm coming home and I'm painting miniatures and I want to do cool artistic endeavors. Like this is my leisure time. Why would I want to be like, okay, ChatGPT, paint the mini for me? Like, what's the point? We were just having a conversation about AI last night. I purchased an audiobook. Oh yeah, not realizing that the whole thing was read aloud in AI. Mind blown, so irritating. Yes, she had it playing in the other room and I was sitting there, like I could only kind of hear it. Like I was watching one of the kids and I was like hearing it on the speaker and I was sitting there and I was like, is that an AI voice? Like it kind of sounds like an AI voice. And then she came in complaining about it and I was like, oh, it was. The AI trend is also leading to bad news stories. A non-AI algorithm that is like 2 to 3 times better at spotting early cancers on CAT scans was repeatedly called AI diagnosing cancer when it was just a non-AI algorithm. Yes, there's all sorts of stuff. And there's also like, you have like the LLMs, the large language models that are completely different from the type of AI that like is, like you said, you know, spotting early cancer cells and things like that. That's not the same thing, you know. Or like some of the like text to speech stuff, to where it's like, you know, auto translating and stuff. That is, you could probably say that's technically AI, but it's not the same as like just, you know, asking ChatGPT a question. It's not the same. Yeah, virtual intelligence. In my mind, we don't really have anything that is like a true AI. Like I'm thinking like Jarvis from Marvel, well, the movies anyways, and then he eventually, you know, turns into Vision, right? Like that is AI. Or Cortana from Halo, like that is AI. But there's a lot of what we have now is, like you said, it's just virtual intelligence. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Yes, it's not artificial intelligence until it's potentially self-aware. He doesn't count as AI. He was woken up by a fragment of the very nature of reality itself. That's fair. I guess there's a good argument to be made there. I'm going to get some brown on his boots, and he's got a little pouch here. And I think I might get some brown on like the handle of his axe. I don't know how much farther I'm going to get tonight because it is getting a little late here. Oh, and I need to switch. I don't need my... I usually switch to a normal palette for speed paints and stuff. And then I use a wet palette for my normal acrylics. So I'm switching back to my normal palette. Like the details on his greaves. Thank you. Honestly, oh, sorry. Most of that is, he had the, like we painted some enchanted steel over like the base armor. And that was the very first thing we did, and it really didn't show up very much until we started adding more colors, because he was already zenithal primed to start with, so the enchanted steel didn't stand out enough. There wasn't enough punch from it. But then we took some brazen copper for like all the trim and stuff, and I'm really happy with how that came out. And then obviously, you know, we painted his skin and beard. That's about all we've gotten so far. I love to hear someone's actual voice reading the audiobooks. People's voices are so unique. I just don't want to lose that. That's where I'm at too. I have something better than both. A fidget toy with pop divots shaped like a foot. And that's a silicone divot palette. Oh, one of those. Yes, I've seen, I think it's Uncle Adam of, oh my gosh, is it Tabletop Minions is his channel? He was using one of those, I believe. And I'd seen the idea. I haven't grabbed one yet. My daughter probably has some she's not using anymore that I could use. Because, yeah, it's fantastic because once it's dry, you can just pop it out. Because this, I have to kind of, like, scrape it out sometimes. Oh, you both started using them at the same time? Very nice. Very nice. Before I go to the brown, I remembered he's got this, like, little gem looking thing on his little bracer, and I wanted to get a little bit of red on there, so I'm gonna do the dark red, and then I'm gonna do one shade lighter red, and then I'm gonna do like a little dot of white later to kind of make that hopefully look like a shiny gem. Can't find any. Walmart has packs of 4 small ones in their party favor section. That is good to know. Thank you. I figured worst case scenario, I might be able to go to like a Dollar Tree or Dollar General or something and maybe find something there. Okay, so I picked up some new browns recently that I've not used. So I'm going to start with some bootstrap brown, I think, for the pouch and for his boots. And then I'm going to work up into some leather brown for kind of the mid-tone, and then maybe this paratrooper tan for the highlight. We shall see. I used to do it with oak brown and fur brown, but I want to try this other shade that I've not really used. My foot I got from Five Below about 2 years ago. We also have a Five Below. We were just... Many Shinny wanted to go to Five Below the other day, and we made a quick run in there. I say quick. It was kind of quick. It wasn't... We're poor again. More browns. No, these are the ones I told you about last time. When we were painting the other mini, I had mentioned that I picked up some new browns, and these are those same new browns. I just haven't actually used them yet. I bought 3 paints, and we're poor. No, these are... One thing I really like about Army Painter is how affordable they are. And I like the dropper bottles. Dropper bottles are really nice. I know Vallejo also has dropper bottles, because I have a few Vallejo back over here. They're just... Vallejo's a little bit harder for me to find here without just ordering online. Most of our local shops don't seem to carry them. My main shop has started carrying them recently, but there was a period of time where it was like you could get Citadel or Army Painter, and that was it. That was your only options. I don't have many war paints. I tend to stick with Reaper because it's what I like using, and I'm all in on their new Kickstarter for their reformulated paints. So I have a coworker who I've not used Reaper paints. My understanding was that they have been kind of probably on the lower, maybe budget end of paints, which isn't, that's not necessarily a bad thing on its own. But one of my coworkers really doesn't like them, so I have not really gone out of my way to try them. But, I probably should, especially if they're going to try reformulating their paints. I should probably give their new paints a try. That sounds nifty. So do they have an active Kickstarter now for reformulated paints? I'll have to go back through the footage and make sure I'm not fibbing. I love it. Absolutely love it. I do post all the VODs on YouTube, so you can easily go back and rewatch the whole thing. And give me some of that sweet watch hours. And average view duration will go up from someone binging these. I have a playlist of past live streams. If anyone wants to just listen to my voice for hours on end, it might help you sleep. I've been told I have a pretty relaxing voice. Everyone except Citadel uses droppers. That's fair. I mostly have Army Painter, a few Citadel, and a few Vallejo. Oh, I do. Okay, I'm sorry. I also have one bottle of Pro Acryl. I have Bold Titanium White that I've recently started using as my airbrush color for Zenithal, and it's fantastic. If you go all in, it's 200 paints for $400. Estimated delivery date in September. Bold Titanium White is the best white ever, at least of everything I've tried, and from the sounds of it, from what everyone online ever has tried, everyone recommends this paint. I was using Liquitex white ink before, but inks are not super durable, so it was best if you used like a varnish or something over them to protect it, or like really let it dry before you do anything else. But this Bold Titanium White, it seems to have way better coverage, and it looks so good. I'm going back right now, and you already know it's your wifey adding watch time. Yes, I do. She adds a lot of watch time, and I really appreciate that. She watches a lot of my stuff, and I appreciate that. My kids also enjoy watching my stuff, which is really nice. Well, we got a base coat of brown on there. Pro Acryl also makes the best transparents. I have not tried any of their transparents. My local shop just started carrying more Pro Acryl, so I will probably have to pick some up. Paint pink and highlight up to white, then give it a coat of Pro Acryl transparent yellow, and bam, super rich and deep, brilliant yellow. I will have to keep that in mind. I did pick up, one of our shops had this Pro Acryl like texture paste stuff. And I haven't even opened it yet, but I picked this up semi recently. I have an idea for what I want to use it for. And I bought these like little spatula guys to spread it on. And I haven't done it yet. I'm a little bit scared to try. See, I've never used a texture paste. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I wanted to give it a try. I don't know. I feel like as like a YouTuber, I should paint. He probably has a glove on. I'm gonna paint his hand. It's probably a glove. But I'm gonna paint that. But yeah, I feel like I should probably have some experience with different things. Like, even if I don't recommend it, or if I'm just like, oh yeah, I didn't like that product. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to have any kind of opinion on it, I should at least try it. Simple Simon, how's it going? Welcome. We are just painting a dwarf. I didn't fix my Twitch title, did I? I never updated it. Valendar the Red reminded me that I didn't fix it, so I apologize. No one else had told me that I wasn't painting a clone trooper. He was the first one. I've been painting for like 2 hours already, and nobody told me that it was wrong. Valendar the Red was the first. He showed up to show me the errors of my ways. All that jazz. You sure didn't. Nope, I did not fix it. It's late enough in the stream. I don't think there's any reason to fix it at this point. If you want to try a new brand of paint for yourself and not your channel, pick a random red, a random green, a random blue, and a random brown, plus they're white and black. Reds are usually translucent, blues are usually opaque, and the rest combined will give you a feel for how that paint would work with how you do things. Oh, like, you're saying like pick those colors with any brand to get like a overall feel? That way you're not going like all in? Okay. That makes sense. It's going well, just resting after moving a bunch of stuff out of my room. Did hurt my back carrying like 70 books and bags, but I'm good now. Oh man, don't hurt your back. Back pain is rough. I tweaked my back once when I was younger. And I have a herniated disc sometimes. And it causes like muscle spasms, and it sucks. I don't recommend it. If you're testing too thin coats, use their red, blue, green, brown, black, and white. Okay. I also have not tried those. I'm a paint fiend. I like trying different types. I would like to try more. Like you can see some of my army painter stuff right here, and then behind my paint cup I have some, or my water cup, I have some Vallejo. These are some of the older model color ones. I believe my aunt bought me a set of these paints. There's like 10 or so of them. And I do like them. I like them quite a bit. And then I also have a lot of the old army painter paints, the old war paints, and I don't even touch these anymore. I touch the washes. Their old washes are fine. The new ones might be better. I don't know, but their new paints are way better than their old stuff. The old stuff was very hit and miss. Every once in a while you'd find one or two that like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But then there was a lot of the old stuff that really was rough trying to thin it down. Honestly, two thin coats white star is probably the second best white I've ever used, second only to the bold titanium white by Pro Acryl. I will say the lid on this bold titanium white is annoying to me. I feel like I waste paint because like I'll get some out and then I go to close it. That's not even fully dry, and I haven't used this in days. But every time I try to close it, like more paint goes out, and I'm like, no. It bugs me. Yeah, avid user of Vallejo, Fanatic, AK 3rd Gen. I don't have any AK. No Chimera. It's a Monument Hobbies. Oh, in certain Citadels. Can buy more of those. I don't think I have any Monument Hobbies either. I would like to try some more, but I like trying to get some. Our local shop has some P3 paints. I haven't picked those up yet either. About several new metallic paints, but now I have to figure out what to paint with them. Shiny is miney, and shinies came home with me. The old army painter stuff was horrible if you had carpal tunnel too, unless you had a vortex mixer. I would believe that. It was a pain to shake up a lot of those. I only got like 7 paints since I just started. Every video I watched to learn, everyone has a whole wall for their paint. Okay, well I do feel bad because I do kind of have a wall of paint sitting here. Here, hold on, let me switch to my other view. I have a zoomed out view that you can see a little bit more. So I have like some speed paints over here. I have some Vallejo. I have a chunk of the Army Painter Fanatic, the new Warpaint Fanatic line, and then the old Army Painter stuff is over here. And then on the floor behind me, I have another small rack. What's the paint we got at the Warhammer store? The Warhammer store. Hold on. We do actually have some other paints. But I have a few Citadel paints back there on a different stand that's on the floor, but I kind of I don't have a whole lot of space up here for paint racks, and I like these paint racks. I bought these. There's a company down in like Arkansas called like Typhoon Paint Supplies or something like that, and he makes these. They're pretty thin. They're fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind that they're thin. However, some of the shelves are starting to sag. Like, this shelf should be up like this, but they're starting to sag in the middle. And like all of them are starting to sag. So I don't think I'm going to keep using these. But we got some of these amp colors. We got a dark navy blue and a dark sea bin. I don't know, signature series. This one's, I guess these are probably both Pro Acryl, but this is like the rebranded Atomic Mass paints, I think. But this one actually says Pro Acryl. So we have these in addition to the bold titanium white. But then we also picked up some of these Turbo Dork paints. Oh, I guess I don't need to be zoomed out anymore. But we got a couple of these Turbo Dorks. We haven't tried these yet. We have Wavelength, Grave Robber, and Afterburner. And these all looked really cool. They've got that like kind of pearlescent color shifting between them. But they looked neat, so we picked them up. Oh, and a big mixture of paints, so my Chimera paints make up most of my colors, but before I used to have 2 paint shelves and some floating shelves of paints. Like I kind of think, so I have 3D printers too. I was thinking about 3D printing some shelves that maybe took up a little bit less room, and I think I would get rid of, not get rid of, but like I don't need to display the old Army Painter paints. I would probably just do the Fanatics, the speed paints, and the Vallejo, and then maybe some of the other good stuff like some of the Pro Acryl things that we have. So to appease the people who came here for a clone trooper, this is actually the clone trooper we painted last week. I tried to do kind of a battle damaged clone, and we actually painted the whole guy in one session, which was kind of fun. Been working on non-metallic metal and OSL, object source lighting lately. Dang, I don't have any over here. I tried some non-metallic metal recently and it did not go very well for me. It's one that I really need to practice on. And I've only tried object source lighting twice. I did it with my Anakin Skywalker model. I wanted his lightsaber to be kind of glowing onto him. And I also tried it on Darth Vader. So I guess Anakin Skywalker twice. So this is the mini that we finished. Was this one last week or was this the week before? I don't remember. It was a recent stream. We finished this one. You have wall hanging racks used for your paints. I'm really happy with how this cloak turned out. And I'm really happy with how her hair turned out. for those of you who are new. Sorry for anyone who's already seen this, because I think this is like the third time I've shown her this stream. But I want to show off some stuff that I've done recently. I'm also really proud of this Space Marine, this Salamander. And I chose that he was going to be a Salamander. My daughter, while I was painting, picked a lot of the other colors that I used. She really wanted some teals and cyans, so the Tyranid armor bits all kind of turned into teal. She wanted red and orange for these tentacle things down here. She wanted some orange on the gun, all that good stuff. But he was a lot of fun. I've never painted a salamander before, so he's my first salamander. I do have a Discord. Thank you for asking, Valendar. Give me 1 second. Technically, anyone can put in this command, I believe. I think it works that way. But !Discord will send Discord links to both chats. But yeah, I do have a Discord specifically for the hobby channel. And then also, I recently painted this Jedi. This is a custom Jedi model by Darkfire Designs. And she had a really cool, I like the armor, and she kind of reminds me of like the Old Republic or maybe High Republic Jedi a little bit. But I had a ton of fun painting this one. And I actually did this one for a YouTube video that I just released a couple days ago. But this was a really fun model to paint. I really like how this one turned out. Oh, and of course, while I'm saying that, we're in an ad break. Go me. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to get too much farther on this guy tonight. It is already past midnight. Ads! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to grab the next shade of leather brown. Yeah, I figured you guys were probably all in ads. Is Twitch putting them on, like, the side of the stream? I know sometimes it does that, and sometimes it, like, just fully takes over the stream. It's probably doing a mix of things, I would imagine. I don't know how it works these days, honestly. You know, I don't think I'm going to get into this color tonight. I was thinking about it. I was going to start on the brown highlights, but it's already past midnight, and I've got work in the morning. I don't want to go any further. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. Fully takes over stream. That sucks. I figured that was the case. Like, don't get me wrong. I want to go further with this guy. I want to finish this guy. But I think he's going to have to wait till next week. Because we still got to paint his fur. Got to do some highlights on his leather. Got to paint his eyes. I have not painted his eyes yet. And most importantly, I haven't even started on his axe. You had 2 ads and both had Shaq in it. That's amazing. Just posted your paints and paint racks on the Discord and hashtag 3D printing. Nice, nice. Now it's time to play Helldivers. Oh man, Garrick, I wish. I'm tired though. It's been a long day. But his axe, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I want to do kind of like a magical, like it's a heated, like molten axe. And I had watched a tutorial. We were actually talking about Duncan Rhodes earlier. I watched a tutorial he did. He painted a bunch of different swords. And I kind of tried to apply his tutorial for like a lava molten sword to an axe. And I was pretty happy with how this turned out. But I kind of wanted to do the same thing for this axe. I think it would be cool. But where this one is like technology, this one is going to be like magic. I can still hear you because I have you up on YouTube. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, she's double watching, double dipping. Shaq lately gives me the energy of a video game character playing around with side quests after he's finished the main quest and hit level cap. That's not a bad analogy, honestly. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with how this guy is coming along so far. I like the enchanted steel with that brazen copper. Amy made some good choices earlier with the brazen copper. She suggested that color, and I like it. I think it turned out well. And I'm really happy with how his like hair and his beard turned out. That makes me very happy. I think that's a really good. Like I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm really happy with his beard. I think that looks good. So yeah, I'm excited for him. I think I'm gonna have to finish him next stream though. So I will plan to finish this guy next Wednesday instead. That's just too much, Jenny. No offense. Shaq, Snoop, and Flava Flav are all giving me that feel, especially Snoop at the Olympics and guest starring on Martha Stewart. Toot toot. I am totally tooting my own horn. I love his beard, Garrick. I'm a beard man. I love beards. Pretty sure Shaq owns both the companies he was in the ads for. I know for sure he owns Papa John's. So is he just like, maybe he bought the companies just so he could be in their ads. He's like, I want to be in a Papa John's commercial. And he bought Papa John's. I don't know. That sounds ridiculous. Oh, and I guess I also would need to paint the base at some point to, you know, finish it. But but I am happy with where he's coming along so far. I like these colors. This has been a lot of fun. Maybe he bought Papa John's as revenge for their previous racist owner. That is also a very valid possibility. He's doing the Ryan Reynolds thing where he buys the companies then does their ads. Yeah, Mint Mobile. Has he bought other companies? Ryan Reynolds bought other companies? That's the only one I remember seeing ads for. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the webcam view. He bought a gin distillery. Oh, that's right. That's right. He did. I remember that now. Ryan Reynolds, that is. Yes. Yes, I will finish him next stream. After I just, you know, switched away from that view. Look how tiny he is next to me. He's an itty bitty guy. But yeah, I will plan to finish him next stream, next Wednesday. But before ending or anything, I definitely wanted to thank everyone who showed up tonight. We had a bunch of new people stop by. We had 2 raids in a row. They were some buddies that both showed up. We had, oh my gosh, the Mechanic Gamer. Is that right? And then we had Isidore 27, something like that. I'm really sorry for probably butchering both of their names. But they raided earlier with a combined total of like 64 or 65 viewers. It was insane. I think I only had like 5 or 6 before they showed up, and then we jumped up ridiculously high, and that was pretty awesome. And I think we got a couple of followers out of the group too, so that was really exciting. So I want a big shout out to both of them. I would scroll back up, but the chat on it, I'm using OBS, and the chat in here is like weird on this add-on thing I'm using. But yeah, I really huge shout out to those guys. A lot of friends showed up, a lot of familiar faces, some older, some viewers from some of my old streams showed up too, which was really neat. Like Amy showed up, and she used to watch my streams back when I streamed Genshin Impact like 5 or 6 years ago. So that was wild. Just wait till Reaper Minis raids you after a Reaper live on Thursdays. 300 people come flooding it. That's wild. Maybe I need to change my streaming night to Thursdays. Hmm. Hmm. Um, I don't know. I would hate to be like trying to take advantage of something like that. But it was really cool having a lot of people. We're still at, according to my chat log thing, it says I have 39 viewers on Twitch right now, which is wild. Porque no los dos. I would love to stream multiple nights a week, but I don't feel like I'm at a point where that's feasible yet. I mean, not that streaming is inherently difficult necessarily, but there is quite a bit of like setup time and stuff that goes into it. And on the nights that I'm streaming, like tonight for example, you know, ShiniWifey is alone with the kids for a good chunk of that, and so there's a lot of extra burden that goes on her that I don't want to push on her too often. I think there's kind of a sweet spot there too. Like eventually I think it'd be neat to go back up to like 2 nights a week for streaming at some point, maybe not right away. Oh, excuse me. Cowardice. I love it. Yeah, we plan our evenings a little bit differently around streaming nights. But yeah, I think if I ever got to the point where like I was like a content creator like full time, like if that was what I did, I think it would make more sense to stream more often. And I've redeemed a hydrate, thank you. Probably because I just coughed. Thank you for that. But yeah, we plan our evenings a little bit differently, and I don't think I'm anywhere near being a full-time content creator, but I really enjoy making YouTube videos. I really enjoy painting miniatures. I really enjoy live streaming like this and hanging out with everyone. Like this has been a ton of fun. This is a huge for me, streaming like this is a huge like stress relief. Like I work in IT. It's fairly stressful at times, especially I don't get along with my boss terribly well, so that's also stressful. So it's like, this is really nice. Like for me, painting is a really relaxing hobby, and being able to hang out and share that hobby with everyone else is really cool. And I like that. And I like that for not just here on, Twitch and streaming on YouTube, but I enjoy sharing my hobby in my YouTube videos as well. That's for me, that's what YouTube is for, is, sharing my hobbies and hopefully being excited about my hobbies. Your brother's an IT manager in FedEx. You've done tech support in the past, 1998 to 2000. Yeah, I did some light tech support for Cox Communications years and years ago. 2008, 2009-ish, I believe. And then eventually I moved into like desktop support, and now I'm a server administrator, system admin, and I have been for a few years now. I was kind of in like an in-between role where I wasn't quite desktop support and I wasn't quite server administrator. I was like an endpoint administrator, maybe. I don't know. We didn't have a title for it. Like they let me make up my own title. And I don't know. I liked my title, but it wasn't like a great title. It did have administrator in the title, but I was trying to get them to allow me to make an acronym. Like I wanted a really long title that was an acronym. I was trying to be like Windows imaging, but I couldn't think of a good word that started with a Z. But as soon as I got that far, my manager at the time was like, no, absolutely not. Because he knew immediately that I was trying to make the acronym Wizard, because I wanted to be the IT wizard. I thought it would be hilarious. But my manager was like, no, absolutely not. But I tried really, really hard. As soon as they allowed me to start crafting my own title, I couldn't resist. I had to go for it. It was my one chance, and I failed. I was not able to make that my title, but I tried. So anyways, yeah, no, I like this is a huge stress relief. I really love hanging out with everyone. I love chatting with everyone. And I want to shout out to Valandar the Red as well for showing up, joining the Discord. I know we got a few new Discord members tonight. We got a few followers. We got a few just kind of all over the place. Like this has been a fantastic night. This has been great for, you know, like I don't want to be like selfish, but this has been great for growth and everything too. So I want to thank everybody for showing up and hanging out. I enjoy streaming nights. Maybe when the smallest Shinny's a little older, we might be able to do this more. That's true too. Our youngest is only 2. He just turned 2 a couple months ago, and he is a handful. So when probably, like she said, when he's a little bit older, I think this will be easier to like plan these streaming nights. So it could be, and I think it would be better to do them like spaced out, like not necessarily 2 nights in a row, but being able to spread them out. As a freelancer, I gave myself my own title, Grand Architect of the Digital Universe. I love it. That's great. I love it. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Like I said, it is past midnight, where I'm now approaching 12:20. So I need to get before you go, may I suggest an anime, 6-episode PG rated but emotionally a bit strong, Ballad of a Shinigami. I have not heard of that one. I will have to check that out. Is it on any streaming sites before I go? That would also be good to know ahead of time if it's currently airing on anything. Simple Simon, you also have a good night. Rest your back. Try not to carry too many books. Hopefully you did not injure yourself too badly. But yeah, no, this has been great. It's about a Shinigami that sticks around and helps the survivors deal with their loss. And last I checked, it was on Crunchyroll. Okay. I do have Crunchyroll, so I will have to check that out. Ballad of a Shinigami. Thank you for the recommendation. It was fun, Necrotomb. Thank you. And good night, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you guys again.